The quiet night at NASA's Deep Space Communications Center was about to change forever. Dr. Sarah Chen sat at her monitoring station, her eyes growing wide as the unusual signal patterns flashed across her screen. She had been tracking deep space communications for 15 years, but she had never seen anything like this. "Hey Mike, come take a look at this," she called to her colleague. Dr. Michael Peterson rushed over, his coffee cup still in hand. The moment he saw the screen, the cup slipped from his fingers and crashed to the floor. The signals were clearly artificial, following a complex mathematical pattern that couldn't be natural. But what made their hearts race was the sheer power behind these transmissions. They were coming from multiple points across the galaxy, all converging in a way that suggested coordinated movement. Within hours, the facility was buzzing with activity. The United Earth Defense Force's top cryptographers were called in. Teams of scientists and military personnel worked around the clock, trying to decode what they were seeing. The signals were encrypted, but humanity had made significant advances in quantum computing over the past decade. Dr. James Wong, the lead cryptographer, worked tirelessly with his team. On the third day, his hands began shaking as the first decoded messages appeared on his screen. "Get me the Secretary General," he whispered to his assistant. Now, the messages revealed a terrible truth. A vast empire, spanning thousands of star systems, was preparing for expansion. Earth, located in what they called the primitive sector, was marked for conquest. The Galactic Empire's communications showed they considered humanity a species barely worth noting, perfect for subjugation and resource extraction. In the UN Security Council's underground bunker, world leaders gathered for an emergency meeting. The room was tense as Admiral Sarah Rodriguez, commander of the UEDF, presented the findings. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "we are not alone in the universe, but more importantly, we are in danger. The Galactic Empire plans to invade Earth within the next 2 years." Murmurs filled the room. The Chinese president stood up. "What chance do we have against an empire that spans the galaxy?" Admiral Rodriguez smiled slightly. "They think we're primitive. They don't know about our quantum technology advances. They haven't detected our hidden lunar bases. Most importantly, they don't know about Project Phoenix." The room grew quiet. Project Phoenix was humanity's secret weapon development program, hidden so deep that less than 50 people knew of its existence. "We have 2 advantages," the Admiral continued. "First, they've severely underestimated us. Second, we now have time to prepare. They don't know we intercepted their communications. As far as they're concerned, we're still a primitive species that hasn't even achieved efficient space travel." The President of India leaned forward. "What are you suggesting, Admiral?" "I'm suggesting we let them keep thinking that. Meanwhile, we prepare. We build our forces in secret. We develop our weapons. When they come expecting to find an easy conquest, they'll instead find a humanity ready for war." The UN Secretary General stood up, looking at each leader in turn. All those in favor of implementing immediate war preparations. Every hand in the room went up. Operation Silent Shield was born. As the meeting concluded, Dr. Chen was still at her station, monitoring the alien signals. She noticed something new. A small scout ship was being dispatched to Earth for initial reconnaissance. They had approximately 6 months before first contact. The clock was ticking. Humanity had work to do. In the depths of hidden facilities around the world, engineers and scientists began working day and night. The future of Earth depended on their ability to prepare for the coming storm while maintaining an appearance of ignorance. The greatest deception in human history had begun. And for once, the whole world was working together, united against a common threat. The Galactic Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson. Never underestimate humanity. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the sound of construction never stopped. Project Phoenix's main facility was expanding rapidly, its massive underground chambers filled with the newest weapons humanity had ever created. Chief Engineer David Torres watched as teams installed the latest quantum-powered shield generators. "How's the testing going?" asked Colonel Lisa Chung, walking up beside him. Her uniform bore the new UDF patch, a phoenix rising from Earth's silhouette. "Better than expected," David replied, pointing to the data on his tablet. "The shields can now absorb energy weapons and redirect the power to our own systems. The Empire won't expect that." Above them, massive ships took shape in the underground hangars. They looked nothing like traditional spacecraft. These vessels were designed to be invisible to standard scans, their hulls incorporating new metamaterials that could bend light and energy around them. In Australia's outback, another secret facility focused on biological enhancements. Dr. Ahmed Hassan supervised as volunteers tested the new combat suits. These weren't bulky power armors. They were thin, flexible suits that bonded directly with the human nervous system, multiplying strength and speed while remaining completely hidden under normal clothes. "Run the test again," Dr. Hassan called out. On the testing ground, a soldier wearing the suit easily lifted a 5-ton weight. More impressively, the suit was completely invisible to all known scanning methods. The Empire would see only normal humans, not the enhanced warriors they actually were. Meanwhile, in the Indian Ocean, submarines converted into underwater manufacturing plants worked nonstop. They produced special nanomaterials for the fleet, their existence hidden from satellite observation. The ocean depths had become humanity's greatest ally in keeping their preparations secret. General Maria Gonzalez stood in the Global Command Center, watching as green dots appeared on the massive world map. Each dot represented a completed preparation site. "How many ships do we have ready?" she asked her staff. 300 stealth vessels completed," replied Captain John Chen. "Another 400 under construction. All of them equipped with our new quantum weapon systems." The general nodded. The Empire's intercepted messages suggested they were sending a fleet of 1,000 ships, thinking it would be more than enough to handle a primitive planet. They were in for a surprise. In orbit, disguised as normal communications satellites, the new defense network was taking shape. These satellites contained advanced weapons, but their true purpose was to create a massive energy web around Earth. When activated, it could redirect any attack back at the attackers. Dr. Sarah Chen, who had first discovered the alien signals, now led the Electronic Warfare Division. Her team had developed viruses specifically designed to infiltrate and disable Empire technology. They had learned much from studying the intercepted communications. "Their overconfidence is their weakness," she explained during a briefing. "They use standardized systems across their fleet. If we can hack one ship, we can hack them all." In cities around the world, civilian life continued normally. People went about their daily routines, unaware of the massive preparations happening beneath their feet, under the oceans, and in hidden mountain bases. This was crucial. The Empire's scout ships would see exactly what they expected to see: a planet still focused on internal matters, showing no signs of advanced space technology. Underground, the work continued. Soldiers trained with new weapons, scientists refined their inventions, and engineers built humanity's secret fleet. Every person involved knew the stakes. Earth's survival depended on maintaining this deception until the perfect moment. The Empire's scout ship was due to arrive in 3 months. By then, humanity would be ready. But they would show only what the Empire expected to see: a young, divided species barely reaching for the stars. The trap was being set, piece by piece, day by day. Behind the scenes, humanity was becoming something the Empire could never imagine: a force ready to shock the galaxy. The Empire's scout ship appeared in orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning. It emerged from hyperspace like a sleek silver arrow, its hull gleaming in Earth's sunlight. Inside the UEDF command center, General Maria Gonzalez watched the ship's arrival on multiple screens. "Everyone remember their roles," she said calmly over the global command network. Show them exactly what they expect to see. Nothing more. The Empire's ship was massive compared to the International Space Station, but tiny compared to humanity's hidden fleet. As planned, Earth's nations responded with confusion and excitement. News channels broadcast the story worldwide. Social media exploded with pictures and theories about the alien ship. Ambassador Kralfax of the Galactic Empire looked down at the blue planet with a mixture of boredom and contempt. His mission was simple: evaluate this primitive world for conquest. The ship's scans showed exactly what their intelligence had predicted: a planet still burning fossil fuels, with basic space stations and primitive satellites. Should we contact their leaders, Ambassador? Asked his second-in-command. Yes, Kralfax replied. Let's get this over with. These evaluations of primitive worlds are always so tedious. The Empire's ship broadcast a message in multiple Earth languages, requesting a meeting with world leaders. The United Nations responded, playing their role perfectly. They arranged a meeting in New York, making sure to show just enough nervousness and awe. Dr. Sarah Chen watched from her hidden command post as the alien delegation landed their shuttle in front of the UN building. Her quantum scanners recorded every detail of their technology, while appearing to be nothing more than normal security cameras. Inside the UN assembly, world leaders gathered to meet the alien delegation. They had rehearsed this moment countless times. The UN Secretary-General stepped forward to greet Ambassador Kralfax, his hands slightly shaking, exactly as they should. "Welcome to Earth," he said, his voice carrying just the right amount of uncertainty. "We are honored by your visit." Kralfax towered over the humans, his scaled skin and elegant uniform designed to intimidate. "The Galactic Empire greets Earth," he announced. "We have come to evaluate your world for potential membership in our civilization." The meeting proceeded exactly as planned. Earth's leaders showed their visitors carefully selected facilities: older power plants, basic military bases, and early-stage space technology. Everything they showed was real, but it was all outdated technology kept specifically for this moment. At NASA's main facility, Kralfax watched Earth's most advanced rocket tests. He didn't notice Dr. James Wong secretly scanning his communication device, or the hidden quantum sensors analyzing every piece of Empire technology. "Impressive. For your level of development," Kralfax said with poorly hidden condescension. "Your species shows potential. With proper guidance, you might achieve spaceflight within a few centuries." Behind her diplomatic smile, Admiral Rodriguez, disguised as a simple military attaché, thought about the advanced fleet hidden on the dark side of the moon. "We look forward to learning from the Empire's wisdom," she said humbly. The visit lasted 3 days. The Empire's representatives saw exactly what they wanted to see: a young species, still divided into nations, struggling with basic technology. They never noticed the quantum communication networks hidden beneath the regular internet, or the advanced sensors watching their every move. As the alien ship prepared to leave, Kralfax made his final report: Planet Earth. Classification: Level 2 Primitive World. Recommended action: Standard Conquest Protocol. Estimated resistance level: minimal. Native military capability: negligible. The ship departed, its crew confident in their assessment. In the UEDF Command Center, General Gonzalez watched them leave. "Send the message," she ordered. "Tell all facilities. Operation Silent Shield Phase 3 is complete. Begin final preparations. The Empire will return, and when they do, we'll be ready." Earth had passed its greatest test of deception. Now, the real work could begin. 6 months after the scout ship's visit, Earth's long-range sensors detected a massive fleet entering the solar system. 1,000 Empire warships emerged from hyperspace, their weapons already charged. At the UEDF Command Center, General Gonzalez watched calmly as red dots filled the tactical display. "So it begins," she said quietly. "Initiate Operation Silent Shield." The Empire's Supreme Commander, Lord Vextor, stood on his flagship's bridge, looking at the blue planet ahead. "Send our demands for surrender," he ordered. "Give them 1 hour to respond. Not that these primitives deserve even that much time." The Empire's message was broadcast worldwide. "People of Earth, your planet is now property of the Galactic Empire. Surrender immediately or face destruction. You have 1 hour to comply." Panic spread across Earth's cities, exactly as planned. News channels showed crowds running in fear, governments holding emergency meetings, and military forces scrambling their outdated jets. It was a perfectly choreographed display of chaos. "Look at them scramble," Lord Vextor laughed. "They're even more primitive than the scout report suggested. Their most advanced weapons are chemical rockets and nuclear weapons." 50 minutes into the ultimatum, Earth's response came. The UN Secretary-General appeared on all channels, his voice shaking. We surrender. Please spare our people. We will submit to Empire rule." Lord Vextor smiled. "How disappointing. I was hoping they would resist, at least a little." He turned to his weapons officer. "Fire a warning shot. Destroy their largest military base. Show them our power." The Empire flagship fired its main cannon at the American military base in Texas. The energy beam shot toward Earth. And then something unexpected happened. The beam hit an invisible barrier and disappeared. "What was that?" Lord Vextor demanded. "Scan the area." Before his officers could respond, Earth's atmospheric satellites suddenly activated, revealing their true nature. The primitive communication network transformed into an advanced defense grid. Quantum shields materialized around the planet, shimmering like a soap bubble. "Impossible," Lord Vextor shouted. Their technology level was verified. "This must be a malfunction." Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Chief Engineer Torres watched his shield readings. "Quantum shields holding at 100%, he reported. "The Empire's weapons are exactly as powerful as we predicted." In orbit, Admiral Rodriguez sat in her command chair aboard the hidden UEDF flagship Phoenix Dawn. 500 advanced Earth ships waited in cloaked positions around the Empire fleet. Each vessel was powered by technology the Empire thought impossible for humans to achieve. "All ships maintain positions," she ordered. "Let them fire a few more shots. Let's see everything they've got." The Empire fleet, enraged by the shield's appearance, launched a full barrage. Energy weapons, plasma torpedoes, and graviton beams struck Earth's defenses. The quantum shields absorbed every hit, growing stronger with each impact. Lord Vextor's rage turned to confusion as his sensors finally penetrated Earth's deception. Hidden bases appeared on the moon. Massive weapon platforms emerged from ocean depths, and most terrifying of all, hundreds of advanced human ships decloaked around his fleet. "This is Admiral Sarah Rodriguez of the United Earth Defense Force." Her voice broadcasted on all frequencies. "You were warned about the scout mission 6 months ago. That was your mistake. This is our home. You are surrounded. You are outgunned. And you are about to learn why you should never underestimate humanity." The Empire fleet moved to attack formation, but they had lost their greatest advantage: surprise. Around them, humanity's ships powered up their weapons. The real battle was about to begin, and for the first time in centuries, the Empire faced an opponent who was more than ready for them. The trap had been sprung. Now it was humanity's turn to show their true power. Admiral Rodriguez's voice cut through the tense silence. "All ships, execute Battle Plan Phoenix. Show them what humanity can really do." The UEDF fleet moved with perfect coordination. Earth's ships, smaller than the Empire's massive warships, darted between their enemies like deadly hornets. The Empire commanders had never seen such maneuverability in space combat. "Impossible," Lord Vextor screamed as 3 of his heavy cruisers exploded simultaneously. "How are they predicting our movements?" Dr. Sarah Chen, monitoring from her quantum computing center, smiled as her AI systems continued cracking Empire communication codes. "Send the next batch of virus packets," she ordered. "Let's give them something else to worry about." Across the Empire fleet, ships began losing control of their weapons. Computer systems crashed. Shield generators failed. The mighty Empire Armada was being hacked apart from the inside out. On the Phoenix Dawn's bridge, Admiral Rodriguez watched the battle unfold. "Launch the drone swarms," she commanded. Millions of tiny combat drones poured out from Earth's ships, each carrying a quantum warhead smaller than a tennis ball, but more powerful than a nuclear bomb. "My lord, we're detecting small objects approaching," an Empire officer reported nervously. "Just to Briz." Lord Vextor dismissed. "Focus on their main ships." That mistake cost him 30 vessels in the next minute. The drones slipped through the Empire's shields, their quantum weapons ignoring traditional defenses. When they detonated, they created miniature black holes that lasted just long enough to tear Empire ships apart. In the lunar command base, General Gonzalez directed the ground-based weapons. "Activate the gravity lance," she ordered. The moon's surface split open, revealing a massive cannon. It fired a beam that distorted space itself, turning the fabric of reality into a weapon. The Empire flagship rocked as the gravity weapon caught it in its beam. Lord Vextor watched in horror as parts of his mighty vessel began to stretch and compress impossibly. "Return fire," he screamed. "Use everything we have." But humanity had planned for this moment for months. Every Empire tactic, every weapon, every strategy had been studied and countered. Earth ships moved in formations that seemed chaotic, but were actually precisely calculated by quantum computers to be where Empire weapons wouldn't be. Dr. Hassan's enhanced soldiers, piloting single-person fighter craft, demonstrated impossible reaction times. They wove through energy beams and missile barrages, striking critical points on Empire ships with surgical precision. "Sir," Captain Chen reported to Admiral Rodriguez, "the Empire fleet is trying to regroup near Mars." "Perfect," Rodriguez smiled. "Spring the trap." The Empire ships flying toward Mars suddenly found themselves caught in a massive energy web. Hidden platforms around the red planet activated, creating a zone where their faster-than-light drives couldn't function. Lord Vextor watched his tactical display in despair as more of his fleet was torn apart. In just 2 hours of battle, he had lost over 400 ships. The humans weren't just fighting back. They were winning decisively. "How?" he whispered. "How did we not see this coming?" The answer came in the form of another barrage of quantum torpedoes. Earth ships attacked from all directions, their advanced AI systems coordinating strikes with inhuman precision. Empire ships, designed for grand battles between large fleets, couldn't handle the guerrilla warfare tactics humans had perfected. "All Empire vessels," Admiral Rodriguez broadcast, "your fleet is in ruins. Your tactics are predictable. Your technology is compromised. You have one chance to surrender." Looking at his burning flagship's bridge, Lord Vextor realized a terrible truth. The Empire hadn't found a primitive species to conquer. They had awakened a sleeping giant, one that had used the Empire's own arrogance against them. The greatest military force in the galaxy was learning a harsh lesson. Humanity didn't just survive. They conquered their conquerors. News of humanity's victory spread across the galaxy like a shockwave. In the Empire's capital world, Nexus Prime, the High Council gathered for an emergency session. The massive chamber, usually filled with confident voices, now echoed with worried whispers. "Impossible." High Counselor Drathel slammed his fist on the marble table. "How could a primitive world defeat our greatest fleet?" The answer came from an unexpected source. A hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, showing Admiral Rodriguez's face. The Empire's supposedly unbreakable communication systems had been completely compromised. "Greetings, High Council," she said calmly. "We thought it was time for a direct conversation." In Earth orbit, more changes were taking place. Other alien species, long oppressed by the Empire, began sending secret messages to Earth. They had watched the battle through hidden sensors, and they saw hope for the first time in centuries. The Resistance, a loose alliance of conquered worlds, made contact through quantum channels that Dr. Chen had discovered. Their leader, Commander Zarkax, spoke from the shadows of a distant world. "Humanity," he said, his translator converting his complex language. "You have done what we thought impossible. Will you join us in fighting the Empire?" General Gonzalez stood in the UEDF war room, studying the galactic map that now showed countless potential allies. "The Empire's grip is weaker than they showed," she observed. "Their defeat at Earth has inspired others." Lord Vextor, now a prisoner aboard the Phoenix Dawn, watched with growing dread as his empire began to crack. "You don't understand what you've done," he told Admiral Rodriguez. "The galaxy will fall into chaos." "No," she replied. "We're bringing freedom to the galaxy, something your empire forgot long ago." The High Council's chamber erupted in chaos as reports came in from across their territory. A dozen systems had already declared independence. The Empire's fleet, spread thin across thousands of worlds, couldn't respond fast enough. Dr. Hassan's enhanced soldiers were now training resistance fighters from other worlds. Earth's quantum weapons were being shared with trusted allies. The tide wasn't just turning, it was becoming a flood. "We need to strike now," Chief Engineer Torres argued in the emergency meeting, "while the Empire is still reeling. We have the technology, we have the allies, and we have the momentum." The UEDF fleet, now joined by ships from rebellious worlds, began a campaign that shocked the galaxy. They didn't just fight, they liberated. Each freed world brought more allies, more resources, and more ways to fight the Empire. Back on Nexus Prime, the High Council made a fatal mistake. They ordered all remaining fleets to converge on Earth, leaving their other territories undefended. "Predictable," Dr. Chen smiled as she intercepted the orders. "Just like we planned." The Empire's massive armada, nearly 3,000 ships strong, emerged from hyperspace near Jupiter. They expected to find Earth standing alone. Instead, they found themselves surrounded by the largest coalition fleet ever assembled. Earth ships, now joined by vessels from 20 different species, had turned the solar system into a fortress. Each ally brought unique technologies and tactics, all coordinated by Earth's quantum computers. "Look at them," Commander Zarkax said to Admiral Rodriguez as they watched from the Phoenix Dawn's bridge. "The mighty Empire, finally facing true unity." The battle that followed would be written about for centuries, not because of its size, though it was massive, not because of its importance, though it would change the galaxy forever, but because it showed something the Empire had never expected: different species working together, sharing strengths, covering weaknesses. Humanity had done more than defend Earth. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward. The Empire wasn't just facing defeat, they were witnessing the birth of a new galactic order. And this time, it would be built on cooperation, not conquest. 1 year after the first Empire scout ship appeared over Earth, the galaxy had changed forever. In the Grand Hall of the former Empire's palace on Nexus Prime, representatives from 100 worlds gathered for a historic moment. Admiral Rodriguez, now wearing the formal uniform of the newly formed Galactic Alliance, stood at the podium. Behind her, Earth's flag flew alongside banners from dozens of liberated worlds. The massive chamber, once a symbol of Empire oppression, now represented hope. "Today," she began, her voice carrying across the silent room, "we mark not just the end of a war, but the beginning of something greater. The Empire is no more." In orbit above Nexus Prime, the combined fleet of Earth and its allies stood guard. The Phoenix Dawn, now scared from countless battles, but still proud, led the formation. Captain Chen, promoted after the final battle, watched from its bridge as ships from former enemy worlds flew together in peaceful formation. On Earth, celebrations filled every city. Holographic displays showed alien allies walking alongside humans, sharing stories and technology. Dr. Hassan's enhanced soldiers now served as peacekeepers, helping rebuild worlds damaged by centuries of Empire rule. "The quantum network is online," Dr. Sarah Chen reported from her new station in the Galactic Alliance headquarters. All member worlds are now connected. Knowledge and culture can flow freely for the first time in galactic history. The former Empire worlds, initially fearful of revenge, found something unexpected from Earth and its allies: mercy. Instead of punishment, they received help. Chief Engineer Torres led teams across the galaxy, sharing Earth's technology to help rebuild devastated planets. We learned something important. General Gonzalez told the gathered representatives, "True strength isn't in conquest, it's in unity." In working together, the Empire fell not just because of our weapons, but because we showed the galaxy a better way. Former High Counselor Drathul, now serving as a peaceful ambassador, stood to address the chamber. "We were wrong about humanity," he admitted. "We saw them as primitive because they weren't like us, but their differences were their strength. They taught us that diversity brings power." In the science academies across Earth, alien students now studied alongside humans. Different species shared their knowledge freely. Dr. Wong's quantum computers helped translate thousands of languages, breaking down the last barriers between civilizations. The resistance leader, Commander Zarkax, had become the head of the Alliance's diplomatic corps. "Humanity did more than defeat the Empire," he told the assembly. "They showed us how to trust again, how to work together despite our differences." Back on Earth, the UEDF headquarters had transformed into the Alliance Defense Academy. Alien officers trained alongside human crews, learning from each other's strengths. The advanced ships they now built combined technologies from dozens of worlds. "The galaxy enters a new age," Admiral Rodriguez continued her speech. "One where no species stands alone, where advancement comes through cooperation, not competition, where diversity is celebrated, not feared." As she spoke, the massive doors of the chamber opened. A group of children entered, humans walking alongside young aliens from every Alliance world. They carried a new flag, one that represented not just Earth or any single planet, but the entire United Galaxy. Lord Vextor, watching the ceremony from his rehabilitation center, finally understood. "We thought we were the pinnacle of civilization," he said quietly, "but humanity showed us we were just the beginning." The ceremony concluded with a spectacular display. Ships from every allied world performed a synchronized flight over the capital, their contrails painting the sky with colors from all their worlds. Below, millions of beings from thousands of species watched together. Humanity had done more than save Earth. They had changed the very nature of galactic civilization. The age of empire was over. The age of alliance had begun. And somewhere in the vast galaxy, other civilizations watched and learned. Never underestimate humanity. They don't just survive. They help others thrive.